I think
They don't go isolation. You have to be good
yeah.
meaning, you have to be credible, you have to be confident, then things will happen. So all those books about maybe some 800 or 900 such hand binding, he used to bind himself, and those were
Wow.
stacked. They were like internet. So when I was
Wow.
a child in 1970s, you open one such book on current affairs and you see the day can predict future. There is no point trying to see the future, beyond what's in your hand, which is in 2 3 years paradigm. Beyond that, it is unnecessary crystal gazing waste of.
Today it's a matter of deep sense of pride, I mean it, and privilege for me to be talking to none other than Arun Misra Sir. I say none other than him because I know it's winter season. I don't know how is it, sir, in Udaipur. In Pune, it's
No,
moderate still. How is it in
no, Udaipur is
cold?
Udaipur is very cold. Morning was 6 degrees. Right now must be 11 or so.
Yeah, but I'm so happy to have you, sir, as the guest because we are going to create some warmth today in the course of conversation. And audience, please watch the entire conversation. It's going to be free flowing. I'm pretty sure you're going to flow with the flow because I'm talking to somebody who's. I was just looking at your journey, sir, today while going through the LinkedIn because it's all without any script. Audience, it's all going to be free flowing conversation, and I'm pretty sure that you are going to have lots and lots of inspiring and messages which are going to give you a heartwarming feeling. Sir, I would like to go back to 2003 November. It was again winter, almost 19 years ago. It was a place called Tata Steel West Bokaro Division, Ghato Town, West Bokaro Division. And I was fresh from that 1 year course from XLR, and I used to think that I have won the world. Now I know that the learning which I have got while passing through the furnace of life is much more powerful, but still. So those were the times at 19 years old. And I recall it was wintry season. And of course, in the eastern part of India, it's pretty cold and wintry. And once in a while, I think while working in that office called GM office, which was the head office of that place, which had almost 5,000 employees. And so once in a while, we used to come out for having some tea and then we used to soak some sun and people used to talk about certain developments. So I used to hear a name, Arun Misra, because people used to talk about somebody who is going to join us as chief of coal beneficiation. So that was a time when you were about to join. I could say one thing very clearly while talking to people, while listening to people, is that everybody in West Bokaro used to know you. Everybody used to know you, and they were in anticipation of seeing one of the youngest chief of coal beneficiations that they were talking about. I think you were one of the youngest, probably the youngest chief of coal beneficiation. And then people also used to talk about the fact that before that, a few years ago, you had become ADM Tech, which was, I think, as difficult as IIT cracking an examination of IIT. You've done both of these. And people used to say that you were one of the youngest ADM Tech, which was a very prestigious position, by the way, audience. I think people who used to become ADM Tech, they used to become chief and vice president and very senior positions in Tata Steel and Tata Group. And so, sir, I was just thinking, being one of the youngest, maybe youngest ADM Tech, youngest chief of coal beneficiation, then one of the youngest vice president. I think you worked in Tata Steel for 16 years. You were working as vice president of raw material division. And before that, you were MD of Tata Steel SEZ. And you also worked as vice president of Kalinganagar project. We are talking to Mr. Arun Misra, and sir is the CEO, chief executive officer, and whole-time director in Hindustan Zinc over the last more than 3 years. And before that, he has worked in Tata Steel Limited for almost 16 years. Sir, how does it feel when you look back on your journey, which has started from RK Mission, when you talk about the schooling and then passing through IIT Kharagpur and then coming to Tata Steel and working in different areas and roles, and then in the current position when you are the CEO and whole-time director in one of the largest organizations in the country? How does it feel when you look back on your journey, sir? Which are some of those thoughts which come to your mind? Let's start from here and then we'll pick up some of these things as we go on. Once again, sir, thank you so much for being in this conversation. Thank you so much.
No, absolutely. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
No, so there are 2-3 things in life. One, you cannot predict future. There is no point trying to see the future, beyond what's in your hand, which is in 2 3 years paradigm. Beyond that, it is unnecessary crystal gazing, waste of time. People say that, make a 5-year, 10-year plan. Those are all waste of time. So you can see only 2 years and 3 years. That beyond that, you cannot plan anything, right?
Right, sir.
And fortunately, engineering course is also 4 years, which is good enough. Beyond that, there is no point. So when you are a child and you are growing up, all you can plan is the direction of where you want to go. You don't know the destination. It's not possible. You may, however, think that I want to become this and that at the end of my educational period, but that's not the right way to design life. You should design life only toward the direction. Is my
Yeah.
direction, is toward direction right? And how do you know a direction is right or wrong? Is my direction is as per my liking?
Right,
If the
sir.
direction is not as per my liking, it is as per somebody else's liking, be sure that your direction is wrong.
Right, sir.
If you are not enjoying that direction, so you think that way. So when I was in maybe class 8 or 9, only goal was the directionally that I should be in the top 10 in the board exam. I was in West Bengal board, and I must get 100 out of 100 in maths, because our maths teacher used to give silver medal, and I must get above 80%, because then he would invite to his home for a great lunch. So those were the goals. Okay. So nothing else, nothing beyond that. Don't want to be engineer, doctor, nothing.
Yeah.
So those were the goals. That silver medal I need to have, that lunch I must attend, and I must be in the top 10, because that list of top 10 would come in the newspaper next day.
Yeah.
So I want to be in the newspaper. So that was the primary motivator.
Wow.
So then I went to 11, 12 in St. James, Calcutta. Primary motivator is I need to learn spoken English. I was not able to speak in English till class 10. So I need to learn how to speak in English, and hence
Right,
go
sir.
to St. James, Calcutta. And then when it came to joining, I was very clear. I have to join IIT. I did not appear for any other entrance test at all. I never tried more than one. It was only one attempt, and that to IIT JE, and I have to get. So went to IIT KGB. If you're that way, what happens is, if you're focused in something that you like and very, very short vision, then all your energy comes into play only for that. If you are trying to be too many things, I want to be singer, I want to be football player, I want to be this, I want to be that, then your energy gets dissipated in 100 directions and you don't achieve anything.
Yeah.
So I went there, and then once I went to IIT, I was a very introvert kind of a guy. So I wouldn't mix with too many people and all that. So I thought, let me change that life. I cannot be introvert for my life. I need to change. So second year onwards, I went into elections and started one election
Wow.
in second year, then third year, then fourth year. So it changed my life altogether. I became a leader, leading hundreds of people, students, till night 4 o'clock with students only. So fine. Then went to Tata Steel. Typically you start. I didn't see anything beyond 2 years. I was very clear: 2 years of work and leave the job and go something else.
Yeah.
But then once I went to shop floor, fell in love with the people, the workers, their lifestyle, and started loving that. And
Right,
then
sir.
after that, it was always been a 2 3 year goal. So my mantra. I have always said, any particular job you pick up, 3 years is the span, and every year write your resume. If you're not able to add any line in your resume, then that
Yeah.
means you are dead. You are not learning anything. So, and
Mm-hmm.
always keep trying. If you keep applying for jobs and you don't get a call, that also means you are dead. You are a liability on your current organization. So even now as a CEO, I keep getting calls from people. As long as I keep getting calls, I feel happy. Yeah, that means I have some value in the market. The day nobody will call me, so that means I am now over. So there is no point. So that's the way to look at life.
Sir, so amazing, sir. I think people keep on scrolling through so many motivational videos and keep on wasting a lot of time while looking at videos which actually do nothing, because, of course, we are going to talk about one of the programs which I saw Hindustan Zinc getting into, and I think it's going pretty well. I saw something called work integrated learning program. Unless people take some action, nothing's going to happen, because I've been in the field of coaching. I say, so sir, what I do is that instead of, I strongly believe in the fact that instead of some international training companies coming and conducting something for 2 days and then going back after with their fat paycheck, I think if we have some program which will keep on having some sessions every week and then making people take some actions and getting their own realizations and seeing what is working, what is not working, and then the journey goes on for, I think, a year or a couple of years. I think that's the best way of learning. Would you like to share something about this WILP program, sir? I think it's amazing because I could directly connect with this program. I'll share some pictures because I got something from your LinkedIn account without. I think I've been stalking you, sir, over LinkedIn, sir. So let me share some of the pictures.
No,
Meanwhile,
no
sir, what
problem.
exactly this WILP program, sir? And let me share something on this.
So their 1 year MBA program they undergo in IIM Udaipur, but at the
Yeah.
same time they are working in our plant. So
Okay.
whatever, and it's also not in the whole time in the campus program. So
Oh,
they
awesome.
do something for a couple of weeks, then they come back and work in the field, apply something, observe, they make some notes, make a paper, go back to college, then share and discuss what did. So idea is basically experiential learning. It's not a theoretical scholastic learning.
Absolutely.
And especially management cannot be learnt in a classroom. Yes, in a classroom you can learn from books, others paradigms, what do others think about the similar subject, but your situation is your situation. Nobody else's
Absolutely.
experience will apply to your situation. There is no
Absolutely.
silver bullet. There is no silver bullet
Absolutely.
some professor will give you. Suppose your union is arguing on something, you go to your professor, sir, tell me what do I do in this negotiation. Nobody has an answer. Your situation is
Absolutely.
your situation. You know what to do. You must have the right tools. Tools like uh, empathy.
Yeah.
Yes, you should know what is empathy, how to step into others' shoes, how to how to feel the pain what others are feeling,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
to look at the world from others' eyes. Those are abilities or skills that one needs to garner. But to say that what exactly I will do on the field, every situation is different, every day is different, every person is different. So your problem is your problem. So please solve it yourself.
I think amazing, sir. I think what you just said gives me at least 2 to 3 ideas, so 2 to 3 thoughts. Sir, one thing which I would like to share with you is that while working in Tata Steel, I recall I went to Bistupur and then got a book called Emotional Intelligence. I couldn't complete the book. I couldn't even read the book. And then it was only when I got into the field of coaching and then I started making people having some sessions in the morning as for 1 or 5:30 to 6:30, and then people have started reflecting on their last 24 hours and then thinking about the moments of anger and what is that they could have done better and what is self-awareness, meditation, affirmation, just sitting in silence. I saw, oh my God, these books are not going to help you unless you practice and actually internalize the ideas. And then I saw people actually started getting the hang of emotional intelligence. They started smiling at some of the mistakes which they had been conducting for last so many years while still reading these books written by some of the best of people. Because the people have written these books at level 3, 4, 5, and the receivers, the readers are like receivers which are shut up. So we are at level 1 or 2, and then that's the reason I think people are not able to find much meaning out of books actually unless they practice. You spoke about it, experiential. That's the idea. So another thing is that I saw very interesting post on LinkedIn where you have said that while let's go back to childhood days, school days, when you have put up a small there is a paper cutting which says that your father was the only source of knowledge for you in those times. He was the internet for you, and that's where you started. And I think that's going to inspire many people who get a feeling that I am not getting proper education, and still, despite being in convent schools, they still put a lot of blame. So would you like to share something from those days, sir? Yeah.
No, so my father in 1930s and 40s used to be in British Air Force.
Right,
So
sir.
those days he used to subscribe to Reader Digest as a magazine.
Wow. Yeah.
Then after 1947, he joined Indian Customs and Central Excise.
Right,
What he
sir.
used to do is he used to keep 2, 3 newspapers in the house, and there was to be some, I think, 2 or 3 different weekly or monthly magazines which used to come to. He was very voracious reader, of course, and
Wow. Wow.
so what he used to do from those magazines and newspapers, whatever are the news items or novels, or there are periodicals used to be published in the magazines. He used to cut them out and then stack them according to subject. So there used to be big bindings of all papers related to science, all paper related to sports, all paper related to politics, all papers related to general knowledge things. And he used to listen to Bonbita quiz contest on the radio, write down the questions and answers religiously, and then bind them together to make a general knowledge book. So all
Mm.
those books, about maybe some 800 or 900 such hand binding, he used to bind himself, and those were
Wow.
stacked. They were like internet. So when I was
Wow.
a child in 1970s, you open one such book on current affairs, and you see the day Kennedy was shot. that day's newspaper clippings. So
Oh,
Kennedy shot, Lee Harvey Oswald, those stories, the publications. The day first time, I think Pali Umrigar scored century, that news. So you open the sports book, you get all those sports news. You open novels, you see all novels published. It is internet. It's just like today in the
my
Google, you
goodness.
search and you go and you read. So that we had a huge trunk load of such books. So we used to, afternoon when mother used to sleep, we used to go open the trunk, take out a book and read through. It was like an internet. It was like knowing the world.
My
That's something.
goodness. What a
If
powerful way of educating
hmm,
kids, children, and giving them all the
correct.
resources. Sir, I think I'm
So
getting,
so when
yes, sir. Yeah.
when people say no, you need money, otherwise how will you buy books from children? You don't need money, you can make books yourself.
Sir, I think what you said is making me reflect on some of these things. Sir, I'm also getting a feeling that that internet might have been better than today's internet, because today's internet has got a lot of distractions. You think of reading something related to science or whatever fiction, then you see a lot of things coming, advertisement, this and that, and reels and this and that. So, sir, as a parent yourself, as a father yourself now, which internet you rate better? The one which was focused
No,
and the one which is today?
it's no, even in today also, it depends upon what subject you take interest in. Today morning in the YouTube, I was seeing a interview of Javed Akhtar and Gulzar,
Okay,
two
sir.
together.
Okay.
What a combination, what thought process, the way they think, the way they appreciate each other, the poetries they talk about. So if with your like with my daughters, so when I also uh, I always I'll ask them to go through those days. Internets, when the first daughter was born, internet was not there,
Yeah,
but I
exactly.
used to take her to book fairs, buy books, so that she goes through books, and she is now a voracious reader of fiction stories. The younger daughter was favoring more of science related books, so she is all about science. She would read anything on the internet about science. There would not be anything that she would not explore. She will not take
Wow.
anything just because Papa said or somebody said this is how it happens. So she will even go to the internet, put the question, look at all the answers, then. So that having that curiosity is more important. Knowledge is
Yeah,
something will
yeah.
come if of the curiosity. Creating
Uh,
curiosity in the minds of the children is the job of parents. Rest,
Yeah,
they
that's
will
interesting.
find the answers. If you start supplying the answers, then they will
It's
not
not
draw.
going to work. It's not going to. Yeah, actually, there are many books, which says that the best way of teaching people. I think teaching is not the right word. Actually, it all depends on the student. If you just have to, I think, as you rightly said, that once we are able to generate a sense of curiosity among the students, I think our job is done. Then they will themselves start using the entire
So they
universe
will.
as the school, as the so I call something called city of the universe is something which is very important. Sir, you said something which is very powerful, and it's something which I've been sharing with people also, that there is nothing called copying each other, because we all are unique. And I saw this over the last few years in a very discreet way, that no two people are same. Actually, once I did my vision board exercise, I found that every word is unique to me, and there are things which are absolutely unique about Arun Misra Sir, and everyone in this world is absolutely unique. But I think people keep on copying each other, maybe on something which comes closest to them, because there is something on wheel of life which says that money is just one aspect, then enrichment, social responsibility, passion, and some of the time with family which you get, the time which you get for your health. Of course, we will talk about marathon which you're going to participate in tomorrow. So, but why do you feel that people still copy each other? And I mean, copy and then also compare each other. So, copying and comparison both happen. Is there something which you would like to share so that people do it less often?
This is a problem of wrong parenthood in childhood. When the parents start telling you, look at the first boy in the class, get his copy, go through his notes. That's a wrong way of parenting, and it all
Yeah,
starts from there.
yeah,
It
yeah.
it won't happen. The way the first boy is thinking, that way has to be inculcated into your child, not his copy. Copy is nothing. The
Absolutely,
way of
absolutely.
thinking is more important. Your child has to start the way of thinking. Similarly, many organizations, in the name of so-called benchmarking, quote unquote, they want to copy other organizations. They say you go and visit and see what they are doing, come and do that.
Not going to work.
It doesn't happen.
It
The
doesn't.
organizational thinking process, makes one organization different from another organization? How does the organization think about solving a problem? That will make that organization great. Similarly, in individual also, I cannot. Many people make a mistake. My friend has gone to software company in Bangalore, so I will also go to software company in Bangalore. You can't do that. Your friend is maybe good in software, hence he has gone. You are not good in software, so something like that. If you, of course, many 60-70% cases you can have a moderate, easy life, average life by doing such things. But if you want to be different, then that's not
Then
the way to be
that's not the
different.
way.
Yeah,
I
that's not the way.
I recall one story from my childhood days, sir. I used to hear my father often talking about me trying for mechanical engineering because he also used to talk about his boss who was a mechanical engineer. So maybe he was looking at the reflection of his boss in one of his children, and then that's how I got into mechanical engineering till I did my. And then I did my vision board, and then I found I got a different set of realizations. I think similar to what you just said. I got a realization that everybody is unique, and we all. But I think there is something called courage, sir. There is something called courage because of lack of which people are not able to follow something which they are meant for. Would you like to make any comment on this? Because I think you have
More
shown a
than
lot of
more than courage, confidence in yourself. Because one thing bad we do in our Indian parenthood is we kill the confidence of the child.
absolutely.
That all the time telling you do this, don't do what you think is right, what I'm telling you is right. It kills the confidence of the child. But if you keep telling the child, okay, I'm with you, whatever you are thinking, try it. Let the child fail, let him go. How will it matter? Who remembers whether Arun Misra failed in class 1 once or class 2 twice, or who
Whatever.
cares? And so many college dropouts are billionaires. So those are not the somewhere in the middle class. The entire thing was everybody has to be straight jacketed. Everybody must follow the same path, and then only there is a one success mantra. Definition of success is only one. Those are all absolutely. If you don't kill the confidence, and if you have confidence in yourself,
Yeah.
why you see so many Western singers? Why I'm not that Indian singers are not great. Only difference being Indian singers lend their voice. They don't create the song.
Absolutely.
Western
Yeah.
singers create their song.
Okay.
So if you are a singer in Western world, you will write a song from your own life experience. That's why each singer is different.
Oh,
The
yeah.
singer does not sing a lyricist's written song. The lyricist is writing from lyricist's life experience. Then the singer is only lending his voice, vocal cord. Then that's not singer. A singer in the original world, in the Kingsley days, the singer in the court of the king used to compose a song, give tune, and sing to the king, and narrating a life, narrating a society. A song has to reflect that. So when you hear Elvis Presley, when you hear Amy Winehouse, when you hear anybody of them, or even Taylor Swift today, Taylor Swift writes songs from her heart about her experience in life.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you sing people singing Gulzar's written song, but that is Gulzar's writing, Gulzar's understanding. I am only lending. So that's why I'm saying when when you grow up also you have to write your own song, you have to give your own music, and you have to sing. Then people will say, this guy is great. Like today, what you are doing, you also could have continued to work in a corporate. But suddenly you must have realized that no, I have to write my own song. I have to write my own music. I must go out and doesn't matter how many people buy your music, how many people listen to you. But at least at the end of the day, when you go home and sleep, you see that, I am doing something what I want to do, what I like. And that is what is more important.
Sir, it's a very powerful thing which you said, sir, because I think many of us, are singing the song whose lyrics have been written by somebody else. And I think I would like the audience to just pause this video here and take some 5 minutes time, just take a deep breath, keep a smile, and just think about your life, whether you are also singing a song which is written by somebody else. Sir, actually in the morning, as I conduct a program at 5:30, so as I just mentioned, so in the last session which we had yesterday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I do. So in the last session which I had yesterday, Friday, so I know we did something called book reading, which is one of those 25-30 little habits which people do. So then I asked somebody, okay, can you tell me the page number? This is a book by Robin Sharma. I don't want to show my books. So then somebody said page number 18. I opened page number 18, and then let me read a couple of lines which is absolutely on the same line which you spoke about. So Robin Sharma writes, so woke up this morning with the following line from Mick Jagger, one of the singers. and one of the writers. Mick Jagger's solo album, Goddess in the Doorway, screaming through my head. And then he writes the lyrics. No use getting misty-eyed, it all screams by so fast. True, life really does scream by. As you said that we can't think about anything more than 2 years or 3 years. And we keep on planning. And then we read the entire thing, just a one-pager thing. And then actually I played it. I went to YouTube, I shared my screen in audio, and then and then we all had some fun while listening to the song. And then I was just thinking about exactly the same thing, which you have put it so nicely and clearly. Thank you so much, sir. That's the reason Robin Sharma keeps on talking about all these singers from Western countries, because they write their own lyrics. Amazing, amazing. Sir, despite having such a busy schedule, so tomorrow we have got marathon in Mumbai, and I'm pretty sure you must have been busy, a lot of work, because the kind of position that you are in. And still, sir, you are one of those people who instantly accepted my invitation. Of course, here with folded hands, I would like to say that Mr. Anand Sen also has accepted my invitation. He said that in this year he will come. Mr. Sen is the managing director of Tata International Limited. Sir, how do you? I think there is something which people keep on talking about, time management. I don't want to use the cliche, but still, would you like to say something? I know it's all where there is will, there is will. I know it, but let's listen to you, sir. Log bole khali Arun bolte rehta hai. Please, sir.
No.
Any message for people?
Problem is people misunderstand time management.
Yeah.
What they say is, I have got only 2 hours to work. How do I accommodate all my work in those 2 hours? So time management. You have got 24 hours. Keep aside 6 hours plus sleep. You have got 18 hours.
Absolutely.
Every minute, do what it clicks to you. Doesn't matter. There is no time for anything. Suppose I'm talking to Arun. I see a WhatsApp message popping up. I need to reply. All reply need not be long line. No, it can be just yes. Type Y. That's good enough. The guy understand yes. So that is so. There are today's technology gives you very fast working also, and I am really amazed when people say work-life balance and time and this and that. You can do everything anytime. Imagine Sachin Tendulkar suddenly stopping batting and saying, "I am going home because I need to maintain work-life balance."
Sir, you are absolutely on the spot. I think I need to invite you more often, sir. As per your time, please join me, because what you said is I can get a resonance, because what I've seen in me with me is that what I do is that and as you rightly said, there is no particular time for, because something, because it all has to be as per flow. So what I do is that in the morning I'll keep some time between 4 to say 5 to say 8:30, which is the most productive time. Then sometime I'll keep between 6 to 9 o'clock in the evening, and in the daytime you can do something, and then you can also do something else. But I think there are so many trainers, sir, who have been selling courses on time management, because they know this is what people are going to buy. So let me sell. They know internally they're all vacant people. This is not going to work. I recall, so there was one interactive session which I was holding with somebody, and then they had invited me to talk about the power of 1 hour in the morning. And then I spoke everything about the curiosity and that passion, and the fact that people have to just experience it. If somebody is waking up at 6 or 7 o'clock, let him just experience by waking up at 6:30, 6:40, whatever time is okay. And let him just go out and feel the gush of breeze on the face. Unless he experiences, he will not build this as a habit. And still the person is asking, Arun, he asked me to ask them, Arun, would you like to tell 5 tips on how to wake up in the morning? Would you like to tell them as how to keep the alarm clock, and how many alarm clocks, and what is the distance? I said, see, boss, please. I have said first, let them experience. It's all there within. A journey within is very powerful, very important. And once you discover the rewards, you yourself start running after it. So amazing, sir. Also going back to something which you said is very powerful. You felt the need of building on your spoken English, and then you also felt the need that since you have been an introvert, you wanted to change the build some of these qualities which are very important. And within 1 year, sir, you also went into this leadership role while being in IIT Kharagpur, and then you also I think you started leading people. So it all happened so fast. I think I know that it's coming from there's something called inner flame which keeps on driving some of the people. But why do people maybe they have got fear of not trying some of these things? Would you like to say something about why people, despite knowing what is right, they still do not take the first step?
There's a confidence level. How does it matter? Fear of failure is something that kills people, all the time. If you tell, I keep telling in my office, if you come to office with a resignation letter in your pocket, you will be the fearless person. If you come to office thinking that, somebody will, if I lose my job, what will happen? Then you will be fearful, and you'll be compromising at every step, every day. You'll be the most unhappy person. But if you have a resignation letter signed, dated, and kept in your pocket, you will be the fearless man in this company, and nobody will be able to, force you to do something which you don't like.
Sir, with humility, sir. So all these books, and this all started with this book, which is all about fearlessness. When I kept this page in my the one pager in my actually it happened. So I would be happy to send a copy of this book, sir. This is the book which is all about, I think, things which you are saying, and the same things I experienced in my life. Going back to the copying and comparison, sir, I think what you said is very powerful. I think organizations have to realize one thing, that if every person is different, how come one organization with 500 people can even imagine to be same as the other organization which has got 5,000 people? I mean, it's something which I don't know. I think a lot which has to be done, sir. I think we would like you to come and join us in some of these talks. I think was something which we can do to bring. So I get a very clear realization, sir, that everything in this world is connected, and people keep on looking for books and videos and this and that. The lessons are floating around them. For example, if somebody just looks into the sports of marathon, game of marathon, I think all the leadership lessons somebody can get from the same sports of marathon. For example, I think it teaches us, and of course we shall have to listen to you in more detail. I think it teaches us the art of leading oneself, discipline, isn't it? It's a lot of things which we shall like you to share. And once a person learns to lead oneself, I think the person can lead the world. Would you like to share something about your passion for sports and marathon? And I saw a lot of pictures where you have led many people from Hindustan Zinc also in some of these marathon events, sir. Over to you, sir.
So where the need comes from is all of us. Once you cross 35 or 40,
right, sir.
We need at least 1 hour a day to ourselves, because most of the day we are leading life for somebody else. Either you are taking care of your wife, your children, you are taking care of your office. You are not taking care of yourself any time in the day.
Right,
you
sir.
need 1 hour when you want to take care of yourself. That 1 hour quiet time all to yourself can be done in a puja, of course, when you sit in a puja and meditation and all that. But the point is, can you couple it with being healthy? So if you do, then I first started golf, and in golf also I used to play alone. That too on Saturday, Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock till 6 o'clock, because I needed time for myself. And in the golf course being green, I could think, so many thoughts used to cross my mind. I used to organize my thought for the entire week in the golf course. Then I started running in the morning. Every time I do marathon, what a way it, or I run about 8 or 9 kilometers every day whenever in the morning. I go at early riser, so I go at around 5:30, 5:45 and do the run. When you run and you keep thinking, thoughts keeps coming to you, there are no friends, you are alone, whole and beautiful weather, sun is rising, time to yourself, and it refreshes you like anything. So when you go for, so tomorrow when I run 21 kilometer, imagine 21 kilometer will take me 2.5 hours to 2 hour 40 minutes. 2 hour 40 minutes, although there are crowd who are running, you are not competing with anyone. You are competing with yourself, your own breathing, your own body, your own tiredness, and you go through that motion. You will become a different person if you do that, because you don't get time to look at yourself. You need time to understand yourself, how you breathe, how does your body respond, can your body take that amount of stress, can you motivate yourself. Apparently so boring, no? 2 hours you are running, there is nobody beside you. How do you motivate yourself? Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm not talking about leader or a CEO. Every human being needs to get that 1 hour time to motivate yourself, so that your rest of the life is not boring. Otherwise, you are like a slave doing things for others. All the time you are doing things for others.
Beautiful. Actually, sir, I have started conducting a series of programs. The topic is just one, the power of 1 hour. So what you said, I can exactly connect with that. And actually, I've been conducting a session for 2 hours where I talk about my journey, as how just by spending 1 hour in the morning or between 5 to 6 o'clock, whatever time, I saw everything changing. The first video, the first book, the first talk, the first everything, even these in conversations I've been holding mostly in the morning hours. So let it come from you, sir. I think already spoke about it. Would you like to share something about why it is so important for people to wake up early in the morning? Of course, I've been conducting some programs called MMRG, Magical Morning Rituals for Greatness, but let it come from you, sir, because people have to learn that it's not only me, it's not only Robin Sharma, there are so many people are talking about the power of morning. And this is important because there are many superstars also who say that, I get up at 8 o'clock and I sleep for 4 hours and all kind of stuff, which is absolutely BS. Sorry. So, sir, would you like to share something from your side? So why people should
No,
spend money?
everything, behind everything, there is a science. People have to understand. These are not so-called yoga or religious preaching or something. There is a science behind it. Your body works depending upon what hormones are secreted in what amount. Your brain feels happy when dopamine is secreted. It can get secreted by having sweets. It can get secreted by listening to comedy. Similarly, different times of the day helps you to secrete different levels of hormone in your body.
Yeah.
If it's an early morning when the sun is rising, the dawn is breaking, from darkness to light it is moving, and there is a clean breeze, there is a quiet all around, not many people on the road, and you are either running or walking or watching a river or watching a lake or something, your body secretes the hormones which makes your body internally will be purified. It is scientifically proven. Same thing if I do after 8 o'clock, it's something like if the flower that blossoms early in the morning, the fragrance of that flower, and the same flower after 9 o'clock when the sun is up, you go near the same flower, two different flowers. So your body is also two different bodies. If it gets up at 9 o'clock and if it gets up at 5 o'clock. If your body are two different bodies, if you sleep at 10 o'clock in the night and if you sleep at 2 o'clock in the night, there are two different bodies.
Wow.
And that you have to realize that. If you realize that, you will find, at the end of the day, all of us are live to be happy from internally.
Yeah.
What is the point if the whole world is telling you you are a great man, but you are crying inside every day?
Absolutely.
Makes no sense. So be happy from inside. That comes with that early morning you get up, you experience the nature, and nature is the best thing. Of course, if you stay in a clean place like Udaipur, where there is no air pollution,
It's a
that
blessing.
means fantastic. It's a blessing.
Amazing. Actually, sir, I also think of one thing. I'm thinking about one thing. Whenever I used to go to, often people go on holiday. So whenever I go to a new place, I prefer waking up early in the morning and then going for a walk. And then that experience of the place also is even the places are different at 7 or 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and then at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Totally different. People are different, places are different, life is different, and still people are indifferent towards the power of magical morning rituals for greatness early morning. Very nice. Amazing. Sir, so I think we spoke about marathon, sir. Would you like to share something else which you like to do when you get time, apart from sports and morning rituals?
No, anything. I listen to a lot of music. I pick up, go through some books. Again, people make a mistake that book reading means from the index to the end.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily. Not you open a chapter and you see the heading, you find it's good. You skip couple of paragraphs, pick up a paragraph which you feel, appeals to you. Read that paragraph, pick 5 lines and remember, good enough. Forget the book after that. You don't need to read the whole book. But everybody is drowned with that. Everybody is drowned with that fear. The book reading means from index till last page.
No, I'm laughing because often I ask people, okay, tell me the page number, tell me the line number. And let me tell you one essence for transforming your life from that one line only. And we do it. We have a lot of fun for 5 minutes time. And I think there's a lot of darkness. I'm sorry to say, but I think that's what is happening. We spoke a lot of things, the copying, this lack of confidence, the way parents are, and the scripting and singing and all. I think a lot of things are happening. So would you like to share something about this picture, which I'm going to share? I think I saw that, let me pick one of these. So this is one of those, I think, work integrated life program, I think, or
yeah. So when these guys had come back from the program and they are picking up, they were placed on like many of them have got placement in transformation office.
Okay.
So they are designing transformation programs and all that. But we wanted to have a get together in the evening, and that get together theme was they were built into small groups of some 3 or 4, and they were given with different situations in business, in life, and all that. And they were to come and present to a board of us in that situation what they would do in life.
Wow.
So and they presented, we had good fun about it, a lot of kind of college ragging. So they were presenting, we are questioning them, we are not agreeing with any of their views, just to provoke them, just to push them, and then we had dinner together.
Awesome. Sir, one more thing I saw, that I recall you as a person who always used to call a spade a spade. I think you always used to question the status quo. And I'm talking about the days when I was absolutely into the status quo. So I used to see you question some of these things. I recall some of the interactions which you used to hold with some of the senior people when you used to get a feeling that no, there is something not right here. I see that many people in corporates are still mustering up courage, and I think again it takes us back to the topic of confidence. While saying something which they think deep within them, then is the right thing to do. And still, I think many people do not say, do not speak up, do not share. Whereas I think if they share, if they speak up the truth, I think they will add more value to the working of boss agent itself. Would you like to give some of the lessons, some of the messages for the youngsters, sir? I mean, something other than this also. What would be your 2 or 3 messages for the millennials, for the youngsters who are first-time jobbers or who are still in the colleges?
See, so there are attributes which they go together. They don't go separately in an isolated manner. Confidence comes from credibility. If first you have to build up your credibility, that okay, Arun Misra is sincere about his work. He is not the person who does not attend to his office work, but only gives GAN, only tries to raise issues in the company. Then the
Right.
credibility is not there. You will not have confidence also, and even if you confidence not backed up by credibility, nobody will listen to you.
Listen to it, yeah.
Third, very most important characteristic that an employee or an executive or a workman must have is a good character. Now, good character does not mean quote unquote so-called social values I'm talking about. Good character means a good meaning, that you mean good for people. I may not be able to help every person, but there must be some person whom I should be able to help. If a youngster comes to me and says that, sir, I want to work in digital because I have a fascination for this and all that, have I ever given him a chance or snubbed him in the beginning? If somebody has just lost his father and he needs financial help, he needs something, have I been able to help him or her? Need not that all 10 cases I should be able to help, but there people should be talking about you. Go to Arun Misra, he will have some solution for you. If you can create that magic by being
Yeah.
good, by being credible, automatically you will be confident. And in an organization, when you raise your voice, when you point out something, the organization will also say, this guy is saying this, we must listen to him because he is a credible person. He is just not a trouble. There are people who just raise issues.
Oh, just keep on, I know.
Who are like always complaining. But if you're a credible, people will listen to you. People will say, no, this guy is saying means there is something wrong in the company. Otherwise, he
Absolutely.
would not have said. That is what is
Mm-hmm.
the most important part.
I think
They
many,
don't go isolation. You have to be good
yeah.
meaning, you have to be credible, you have to be confident, then things will happen.
I think this is a world where people look for the building, they do not look for the foundations. I think first people have to build the foundations. I think you spoke about credibility, you spoke about character. I think these two are the words which I think people have to think about, reflect on. So would you like to share some of the most inspiring, name the name of some of the most inspiring books? Of course, you spoke about books, but still, if you can share some of the books which you find very inspiring and some of the movies or something which, because this is a real time which you got.
So
So
I say books, movies, all are important, but real inspiration comes from people around you.
people.
There is nothing can replace them. You look around you, there are people in your house, there are people in the office, there are workmen who work with you. I remember, Arun knows, I remember from the West Bokaro days, all electricians, their helpers, the foremen, the supervisors, the engineers. I am in touch with most of them. The workmen still call me. The union leader wishes me on 1st January every year. He is now very old. Mahinder Singh is now very old, retired in Gaya, but he calls me. The Zinc calls me. So they are your trainers. All your people, irrespective of designation, irrespective of social status, if they have come into this earth before you, then they are your trainers. If you have come before somebody else into your earth, you can be their trainer. Of course, younger generation can also teach you a thing or two, but be sure in our culture, if people who are born before you are your gurus, and each
Mm.
one of them will tell you something or other, and each if I today I have to give credit for whatever I have achieved, it's because of the people who worked with me and taught me so many things about values, about this, that. I remember that electrician Arun Shah told me when I was very new on the first day in the maintenance room, never utter a word, not even Sala, while you are on work. I still remember. It's still ingrained in my thought. So there are things that people teach you while you are on the shop floor, and Of course, books are there. So many books I
Yes,
must have
absolutely,
gone
sir.
through in my
I think I
life.
was
But
just listening to it because everything is absolutely something which I can connect with. So you might have heard of this guy called Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins has said that the biggest irony of this world is that people do not ask somebody else for advice, for help, for guidance. They just do not ask, or in case they ask, So he just says that there are just three secrets to any amount of success: ask somebody, ask the right person, and keep on asking till you get it. People would love to give you advice based on their life wisdom. And I think भारतवर्ष में सर तो गुरु शिष्य परंपरा शुरू से चले काफी हजारों सालों से चल रहे, but I think still people look for some external means like books and videos and all that, and nothing changes.
no, people. What happens is in today when I see HR, they buy later. They will appoint a mentor. You are a mentor to this guy. He is called a mentee. There's an advised program. Meet twice in a week. That it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. People pick up a mentor by themselves. When we joined, we picked up some seniors. We used to speak to them. We used to meet them in the bar room, talk to them. That's how mentor-mentee happens by psychological union. It doesn't happen by official letter. But organizations still follow those
I know tick
trodden
marking.
path.
I think it's a culture of tick marking which is going on. I think I don't want to talk about HR people. I know there is so much which has to change. It's all tick marking, tick marking, tick marking. People also are happy that okay, I have got 10 recruits and I've got 10 mentors. Job done. And sir, I want the increment for this year. It's just one example. It does not happen that way. I know there are so many people in the organizations who have got this inner passion for mentoring, and nobody knows about them because HR person does not know himself or herself. So how does he know about the people, about the people and organization? It's a big darkness which is there. Sir, while hiring people at senior levels, you must be doing a lot of hirings. Which are those? I think by now we have got some ideas what kind of qualities you might be looking for. Would you like to share some of the qualities which are the top-notch qualities which you look for while hiring people? And that will also give an idea to audience, to those who want to join Hindustan Zinc. For example, so would you like to share some of these qualities which you think are most important for people?
So, of course, it also I learned through my work, but after coming to Vedanta, I find that we have a very good way of looking at biodata of people. So, typical resume that people send, we start the interview always, and the consultant, if you are appearing for Vedanta, consultant will tell you, we give lot of weightage to childhood. How was your childhood? Who were your parents? What were they doing? How many siblings do you have? Do you have sister in your family? So what is your sister doing? What did you do? How much has your sister studied? That gives a clue what kind of environment you came from and what kind of values that has gone into you.
Absolutely.
That is so. We give first part of the interview is talk about your childhood. We don't want to hear your degree stories and this, that. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, of course, so that gives you a sense what are the sense of values in this guy. Because we in Vedanta, another word is very important for all of us is something called gratitude.
Gratitude.
So if you are not humble and if you don't have gratitude towards other people, you must express. Like certain things like if somebody tells you something, helps you something, you must say thank you. In whatever way, in Hindi, Bengali, whatever way, but you have to say thank you. You cannot take it just for you have your birthright for it, even if you are a superior. His job is that he's supposed to do this. No, thank him or her, something. So this sense of gratitude, this well upbringing, the value of imparted in your school. Which school did you go to? Was it a vernacular school? Was it only an English medium school? All these are important in our recruitment. And then we look at, of course, your experience and your honesty. Like when I was recruited, I was asked by the chairman, how do you score yourself in finance? You are a technical leader, fine. How do you score yourself in finance? Now, if I had tried to tell him that, I have done CDEP course and this and that, I said, I am just, I think, 5 out of 10 in finance. He said, fine, then you are right. So that honesty also people test. And as I said, the character is very, very important to us.
Awesome. Actually, sir, I recall in 2018 when I got into one kind of, I spoke with somebody who was a very wise person. The first thing which I built in my life was attitude of gratitude. And then I started making people practice it. For example, many people come to me who have got some problem with in the office, they have got some problem with the society, whatever, relationships and all that. All that I just ask them to do is to just spend 5 minutes time, maybe less than that, and just talk about 10 things from yesterday which were great, counting blessings. And I think once people do it for 7 days or 10 days, the entire mind starts opening, because people have been taking everything for granted. I met somebody called Mr. Ghanshyam Agrawal in Jaipur, sir. During Diwali, I was there in Jaipur, and he is the uncle of, he's related to Mr. Anil Agrawal, Vedanta Group. And Mr. Ghanshyam Agrawal is 87 years, sir. And he said, Arun, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. I'm the most blessed person in the world. And Arun, please take a note of this point and please share this with people, that anybody who has got even bit of attitude of gratitude will never feel bad or frustrated or negative or kind of, negative or alone in this loner in this life. People feel bad, or there is something called depression, which is a word which, imported from outside world. There is nothing called depression in India, in Hindi word. It's because they do not have attitude of gratitude. Sir, I have seen people inspiring people without having hands and legs, and here we are, hands and legs. People feel, oh my God, everything is gone. My boss has shouted at me. Boss has shouted. Lucky you are that you have got a boss. You are in a job. There are crores of people who are looking for a job like you. And then still, once you get into a job, you start taking everything for granted. Sir, I think we need more CEOs like you, sir, in different groups. Sir. There is a lot of darkness around. And I think the 3 things which you spoke about, I'll just put it there. Thank you so much, sir. So would you like to share something? I know that your time is precious. I
Thank you. Thank you.
Just 5-10 minutes, sir. Would you like to share something about CDIP and IIT Kharagpur?
That only 30% of the learning takes place inside the classroom.
Right.
70% is outside the classroom in your interaction with your students and fellow colleagues. I got that learning. One of my French teachers, he had a habit of coming to the class and asking, what did you learn yesterday? That was his sentence. And from India, typically, whatever the teacher taught in the class, if you can narrate the same thing, that is equal to your learning. So teaching is equal to learning. So when I narrated that, and he said, this is what I taught you. I am asking you, what did you learn? Not what I taught. I know what I taught. And that opened my eyes, that learning is different from teaching. So normally in India, you are said that you remember each and every line teacher has told you, note down each and every line, and that is your learning. Your learning means what was your understanding before you came to class? After coming to the class, how many of your understandings got modified, changed, renewed? If you can narrate them, that yes, these are the 5 things I thought the world is like before I came to the class. After the class, now I know world is not flat, world is round, world has, then you say, now that is a learning. You thought world is flat, now you know world is round. Then that's a learning. So you have to really always bother, which one is my learning? What I thought before the class and what I am knowing after the class. बुक्स तो सब जगह मिल जाएगा, बुक्स खरीद के घर में पढ़ लो, हो गया.
सर मैं भी हिंदी बैकग्राउंड से आता हूँ, और मुझे याद है जब भी हम लोग जब भी एग्जामिनेशन हम लोग देने जाते थे, तो सवाल जो प्रश्न पत्र के ऊपर में लिखा रहता था, यथासंभव अपने शब्दों में उत्तर दें, जो लोग भूल गए हैं. People used to focus on the question, they used to forget the top line, जो मुझे अभी भी याद है, हमेशा अपने शब्दों में उत्तर देना. I think that's what you also shared in, I think the teacher also shared with you in different ways. If we write a book based on your life and career, based on your journey, sir, what do you think would be the title of the book?
Towards happiness.
Towards happiness.